probably sitting under here, what's going on.
So finally
We'll call a meeting to order. Approval of the minutes of October 18th and November 14th. Is there a second? Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Gary will be getting here whenever he gets done with his interview. I don't know about John, so. Public comments.
Well, I sent some pictures to you guys, I assume you got them, showing that trail east of Hackett, the old snow trail east of Hackett. And I know Jared, I've had a couple discussions with Jared about that. You know, that's irritating to a lot of us. We have no business allowing a logger into a trail like that when it's this wet. That is absolutely ridiculous. That trail has been devastating. And I know Bob and I went down that trail earlier this fall with our ATVs. And the trail was in really good shape. I mean, where that water hole is, it was a little bit soft. We cut in just a little bit, as expected. But the trail itself was in pretty good shape. I don't think anybody's been on that trail since because it's wet. People have enough sense that when it's wet to stay off those trails. So we let a logger with a big skidder go in there and absolutely devastated that trail. All I've got to say is, you know, as bad as those pictures look, if you look at it in person, it's worse. I mean, it is terrible. Do you guys have a copy of the Best Management Practices book?
I don't know how old it is, but I have one.
You need, if you don't have one, you need to get it. You need to read it from cover to cover. And then you need to go back to chapter 4 and read that a couple more times. I was surprised. There was a lot of good practical guidance and information here. And if our forestry department would have been following these guidelines for 50 years, we wouldn't have any trouble with our trails. Because this makes sense. And unfortunately, I don't think we're still following this. We're not. We're not. You know, our current practices still do not follow this book. So, you know, like I say, you guys need to, you know, read this, get yourselves educated. You're gonna have people with an agenda telling you what this book says, and telling you how you should vote based on what the best management practices are. So you need to educate yourselves, so you're ahead of that. You know what's going on. So, something else I was gonna say, but. I guess I'll leave it at that. I know the other thing I was gonna mention is, we've been given trail inspection reports that we were supposed to use. All this does, there's 5 pages here where we're supposed to check, you know, make sure the trail is the way it's supposed to be. The trails were never built to BMPs to start with, and now we're supposed to verify that they're okay. All this is gonna do is set us up to have all the trails canceled, closed in the future. And I think that's the goal, obviously. So, you know, this is just setting us up to have to close all the trails, which that's not why most of us are here. If the forestry department can't use the trails for logging in a respectable, sustainable manner, and then at the same time keep the public out of there, it makes no sense. Okay, I'm done.
Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to echo this too. When we were in there this late summer doing our inspection for trails, and if this was going to be a fixed up trail, that's when it should have been done, when it was dry. And of course, I've talked about the ditching and the crowning. It's in here too, because I've read my book. And so if we're gonna have a logger go in on a trail, hopefully it's during the dry season, not after all of the rain that we've had. At least they would ditch and crown it. So where's the water now? You've seen the pictures. All the water is directed to the middle of the trail. So, best practices positively are not being used by the Rusk County Forestry Department. We need to make some changes. This is a trail that I had said earlier this fall that, if they're logging in there every year, well then let's put culverts in these two places and ditch and crown it. So that it can be used, not only by the loggers, but for recreation. But we can't seem to do that because we're Rusk County and the object, or the goal here is we're gonna close it down. That's the goal, we're gonna close it down. So, somebody needs to wake up. We need some leadership that knows the direction to go, because right now we don't have any leadership.
Mayor Ross?
Yeah, so just to echo a little bit more what these guys say, if you guys saw those pictures, that trail is absolutely, it's disgusting. You can't even use that trail as a walking trail anymore. And then all our meetings that we've had talking about the trails, we've talked about BMPs. You know, a four-wheeler goes through and puts a couple ruts in one of the trails, and Jared's crying about BMPs, but then you look across the road on that trail and see what the skidder did to that, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And then about the same time that was happening to that trail, we got the email from Nick with the new inspection report that's got 5 pages and probably 30 different things on it, and I'm not exaggerating when I say there's probably some roads in our county that wouldn't meet all those standards. And that inspection report, I know Nick said in his email that it's so Jared has something to talk to the DNR about. Well, we're not done. The DNR does not care about that. We said from the beginning, you know, we needed an ordinance, and then these trails needed to be inspected. There was nothing about a 5-page report done on every trail. That report is going to just be leverage that our county employees that think that all the trails should be shut down can use in the future to shut them down. That's all that form is gonna be used for. You know, another thing, when this started, when we started the ad hoc committee, Jared said that, you know, he didn't have time to do a lot of this stuff. So that's one reason that this ad hoc committee was developed, so we could help out, you know, looking at these trails ourselves and you know, signing them and stuff like that. But it sure seems like these people that didn't have enough time to do that before have found a lot of time to circumvent a lot of the stuff that the ad hoc committee has done. We had a report, and I agree that we needed a report at the beginning, so when we come to these meetings, the board members are on the same page about what trail we're talking about and stuff. It was pretty basic. We had that, and now here, this other report, you know, comes out that's basically just gonna undermine everything that we've done for the last, I don't know, 1.5 years we've been working on this, 2 years probably. I think it's ridiculous, especially given what happened to one of our trails, by some loggers at the same time. That's all I got.
Anybody else? Jay?
Just gonna read you a thing in the BMP book, highlighted in bold letters. When planning a forest transportation system, you will need to consider not only the immediate harvest needs, but also long-term harvest management and landowner objectives. Okay? Best part of this, in its own heading, the 2 primary considerations when constructing forest roads are to get water off the road and then away from the road. Those are the 2 concerns. We hear all the time these roads can be flat. It's okay if the water's running down there. You know, it's a forest road, it's a logger, they're using it. I can only imagine the turtles and the frogs, and this is gonna sound crazy to some people. If you lined up everyone that got drugged down by a log or run over by a skidder, took them down to the 4-way stop, and let kids smash their heads in, the uproar that would be. I mean, look what's going on with the animal shelter and how upset people are over that. And yet this is going on in our forest every day. If we build these roads appropriately to BMP standards, this would be an ongoing, non-stop, never-ending problem. Let's get the bulldozers in there one time and do it right. And if they don't do it right, let's find someone who will do it right. This is just kicking the can down the road. And I want the loggers to get rich, but let's get these guys in there and do these trails right the first time. Not turn every road into a river, or turn every road into a swamp. That's what mostly is done because we do not require and follow these BMPs. We have got to start on this and get going, and it should have been done. I'm not blaming the current people. We've had 25 years of this going on before that obviously didn't get done right. These guys can right that ship right now. They can straighten it out. All they gotta do is make sure, with the help of us and you guys, that these folks make these roads to an appropriate standard, like the BMP book calls for. That's all I got.
Anybody else? Don?
What's the policy for these questions now? When do they get answered? We got a question about something, how do we get an answer?
That's something we'll have to get into later when we get down to the reports, I would presume. I haven't seen it yet. That's one of my notes, a copy of it.
If they really can't engage with us at all, I'm curious what the policy is.
I think that's something we'll discuss on the 27th.
If I still got any time left in my 3 minutes, in this book, it's a picture book. A second grader could read and figure out how to do these roads. It literally has pictures. You don't even have to take measurements, just take pictures and look it over. It's ridiculous that over the last 25 years this hasn't been done.
Can I continue?
I'm sorry, Don.
Or is he gonna interrupt again? I seen this week, some snowmobile clubs are posting pictures of putting in bridges now. Why can't we put our bridge in now? Our policy is different than the other counties apparently. And the other thing I got is, I hear that we cannot use the ATV trail for logging jobs at all. That's gonna cost the county a lot of money. We've overbuilt these ATV trails. Why can't they use them when they're there? And either there's a bond, or it'll fix them when it's done. How are they supposed to get the wood out? Is that a fact that they can't use the ATV trail?
These guys are supposedly taking notes and they will answer it in their report. Public comment, we're not supposed to respond to.
I understand that, it's puzzling to me, but
You do.
I understand it. I guess that's all I got, I'll just wait for later.
Anybody else?
I think I've got a little time left. I just wanna say that logging is healthy for the forest. I'm not against logging. But the practices that are being done, and I echo what Don says about being able to use those ATV trails that are overbuilt. But they need to be done with some common sense, and some of them need to be froze down before they're used. So, again, I'm not against the logging. It's some of the practices that are going on.
Anybody else? Zach?
As a logger, I'd like to make one comment to the fact that loggers couldn't care less what kind of regulations you put on us building the road. Because we figure it in when we make the bid. It's the county that it's costs money. The more road they want, the less something they're gonna get. That's how that goes.
One more time, anybody else? Now we'll go down to monthly reports. Parks and Rec.
Okay, we managed to get all of our docks in. We had 17 docks that we put in, take out every year. Excuse me, so we did get that done a couple weeks ago. And that's always a nice little bit off your back. And you got cold weather coming in. That Potato Lake Snowmobile Bridge construction was completed on that earlier this week, and that turned out really nice. The challenge there was, we were dealing with the Lake Association, who insisted that it's used during the summer for fishing, so they did not want the bridge. It's an arch bridge, and they did not want it too high off the water for fishing purposes, so we kept it a little lower, but we didn't want it as low as the bridge that was there, which is basically right at the water level. So this turned out perfect. We have 3 feet of clearance, and EB Construction did the job, and he did a really good job of setting that, or getting that height perfect. So they did a great job, and they disturbed very little ground putting that in also. So that was a 65-foot bridge. The Ladysmith Snowmobile Club is completing work on the Thornapple Grade or along it for their snowmobile trail. We did get the grant award letter for storm damage up there, and that was the snowstorm that we had last winter. That was a stretch of trail that they had not cleared yet. They were just using the Thornapple Grade as the trail, so that work is nearly complete. They still have a little bit of clearing to do there, it sounded like, up a little bit higher in the trees that has to be cleared, but mostly done there. Let's see, Reargore ATV Trail Bridge. Don was asking about when that will be put in there, and I've talked with Owen at CWI. He does have the bridge near completed. It's up on its wheels and basically ready for transport. But if you remember, we do have to obey the big Reargore is a trout stream, or classified as a trout stream, and the DNR does not allow construction between the dates of September 15th and May 15th. So because Owen didn't get it in before that September 15th deadline, he cannot do construction right now. He still plans to get it up there, and I told him that he should wait till the ground is frozen, because he wants to put that, or bring that in a 100-foot piece. So that's gonna be quite a challenge to get that bridge down that trail without being in the ditches and everything else. So I thought it's best if he waits for the ground to freeze to do that. But he still does plan to do that. And we did go up there and clear a little bit of, made a little bit of room on the north side, so he can put that bridge there. And we'll still be able to get by it then and put in the concrete footings. So that's where we're at there. As far as the graveling on the south side of the Big Reargore Creek, I talked with Haas, and they're gonna meet with me and do a pre-construction site visit. And then we'll go over everything that has to be done. We'll probably go up to the Murphy gravel pit and look at that stockpile of gravel that they'll be using also for that. And then we are, again, waiting for frozen ground to put that gravel down. So it'll be after hunting season, but hopefully that will be completed by the end of the year. Because you don't want a lot of snow for that project and have that drag on all winter. So we did talk about that. Bucks Lake ATV Trail, George and I were out on the trail yesterday, and we walked a new portion of trail that we think will be a more scenic portion, and it will also, we can avoid using a steep hill that's been washing. So this section of trails will be much better, but it was a section that we had to walk, and we walked about half of it, which was a half a mile in, half a mile back. And then I did provide a map, an updated map to the DNR today, where we walked, so that map where that trail can get changed a bit there. Campgrounds are slowing down. We're gonna get a little blip of activity over the hunting season week, which will be next week. So, and then after that, we probably won't see many campers at all till next spring. So, where we're at there. So,
Any questions for him? If not, timber sale report.
We're staying really busy out there. Cumberland Timber, they're almost done with their thinning and overstory removal on the fire lane. Ted Struck is keeping busy. He is working on a lump sum master job on DeJong Road. Shelterwood, almost done with that on Betty Lake Road. And then a thinning on Wagner Road, which that one looks really good. The operator's doing a really nice job cutting in there. We still got lots of hardwood pulp around on various sales throughout the county hall. Still a work in progress. Northwest Hardwoods, they finished up cutting and forwarding on the elevator sale on Moosier Road. There's still wood to haul. They started a little bit of closeout work on the roads today in there. Then they are going to start a shelter wood on North Bucks Lake Road, right by the town hall there, Wilson Town Hall. I had a pre-sale meeting this morning and they started putting in a new road through the sale. And they'll probably start cutting later this week. Paul Wojcik, he tried going into his Tamarack sale off of Hackett Road. The wetlands and the roads were not firm enough to hold him up. He was shut down. We'll have to fix the damage and he will try again, freeze up this winter.
Any questions? Administrators report?
Okay, still do not have a snowmobile grooming contract from the Bruce Club. You guys may remember last year we had issues with them and some things not getting stuff in, and everybody got bad mouthed over that. Once again, they are dropping the ball on their end of that, so I wanted to make note of that.
So they get it by.
When do they have to get it in by?
It was supposed to be in August, was their due date.
We've been called a couple of times about it.
It's been brought up in all their meetings, we're still waiting on it.
We just got another one, the other day, from a different club.
Yesterday from Weyerhaeuser.
A couple were late, we're waiting on one. As you guys know, you approved the forestry work plan for 2024, passed by the county board. We will apply for a forest administrator grant when Doug gets the paperwork out for that, using that plan. The grant application includes finance documents that will get through Jamie and your department, so. We had some BMP monitoring done on the county forest last week by the DNR does, what is it, Derek, every 5 years or so?
Yeah, it's on a 5-year rotation, but there's one off year where they work on updating the standards if needed.
So they do BMP monitoring all over the state on different public land holdings. I think they do private lands as well sometimes, but
Yep.
doesn't affect us too much. We had a team of 3, me and Dane and myself out there on 3 of our timber sales, the randomly select timber sales that have streams and wetlands to deal with. Make sure that we're doing things properly with regards to BMPs. No issues were found on our part. It was noted that a logger did some things that he wasn't supposed to on one of the sales. When we got out there during our inspection, we addressed it and shut him down, as we should, so no issues on any of those sales. There's a couple of stream crossings on woods roads as well as skid trails with those. Those were good to go. So, yeah, MP monitoring was a huge success. Wetlands also looked good. There was some soft ground in a few wetlands. It was winter, but it was still not frozen. The rutting was within our guidelines, not excessive. Although there was an area on one of the sales where it was excessive. I pointed that out to the monitoring team. And they said we did the right thing. We shut them down when we needed to, and here we go. They fixed those ruts with a dozer, or actually, they may have used a forwarder to fix them when it froze a little bit. They were able to work it. The bat habitat conservation plan was sent to me by the DNR. I don't know if you guys remember much about that, but there's a few bat species that are going on the endangered species list, and we have to be covered under a incidental take permit, basically, to be able to cut trees that could potentially have a bat loose near them. Long story short, that's the gist of it. I made a few changes to that. I'm waiting to get that back so I can, make sure those changes were done. I just wanna make sure we're covered on a few extra things, one being that if we start doing prescribed burning, we need to make sure that that activity is gonna be covered under the incidental take permit. Yeah, we had one job shadow last month. A young man, local kid who was interested in forestry or parks or something like that. So, he went out with Jake for a day. I think he's gonna be in another day this weekend. So, yeah, good to recruit young men into the profession. Couple other, two other interested parties for job shadows that we just were notified about, so. Yeah. Heidi, do you wanna open the Hackett Road timber sale map? Should be in the 2023 folder. As you look at that map, Hackett Road goes north to south. That red line there is the area on the Woods Road where the logger had issues with soft ground. The greenish, bluish, light, whitish almost color on there is mapped wetlands from the DNR Surface Water Data Viewer. As you can see, there are 2 mapped wetlands on that stretch of road. BMPs require those to be firm or frozen to operate on them. They were not firm or frozen, so that's why Dane and I went out there and looked at it after we were notified by Rod. We shut them down. A wetland road that's existed for longer than the BMP book has existed. It's definitely below grade. We can't just crown and ditch that road. That would be not allowed under wetland laws for recreational use. There are ways around that. We can do wetland permitting if the committee so desires to put a trail into that area, which perhaps that would be a priority area that could be suggested by the trail committee. At that point, we would have to pursue wetland mitigation permitting. I don't know a whole lot about that. Mike may. I don't know much about it, but it would cost money and work and wetland delineations and things like that to be able to put a recreational trail into there during non-frozen conditions. So just wanted to let you guys know what happened there. The logger did screw up. He should not have been in there, and we shut him down appropriately. He also had some garbage laying there and he picked that up, so that's not, honestly, I see that on almost every timber sale. You gotta remind certain guys to clean up their trash, but in general, that particular contractor is very good. When I called him to notify him that he was being shut down, he understood, and he said he went in there only once and came out once, and it looked like maybe he did more than that. That's what he said though, and he said he understands that he shouldn't be driving in there, so he was gonna try to tidy it up a little bit yet to hope it freezes a little more level for him. But no arguing, no harsh words. Moving forward, we get the wood cut back there this winter. Nick and I kinda teamed up on a new inspection form for the Trails Committee guys to use. A little more thorough than what they were using, just to ensure that we're getting a thorough inspection. A no check on that form does not require a road to be closed. There are many instances. One example would be surface a road with a maintainable surface such as gravel. Under certain circumstances, you could check no. And in the comments, perhaps it's a low volume of low use or no steep slopes, or the ground isn't so soft that it requires that. So,
Is this based on what you guys do for the logging trails? Did you fill out a similar form?
we have timber sale inspection forms that we use every time we visit a sale.
And that's the
They
same.
include a BMP portion. It's not the same. This is a little more specific to the trail conditions.
We'll have to adjourn this for now, cause we got bid opening at 3:30.
Don't start opening the
Question is, second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
You ready, Phil?
Go for it. Whatever you guys are
Ready?
What, I just want to
We got this.
Let's do it.
Tract 1123.
First bid is from Kendall Logging. Ready? Basswood logs, $75. Hard maple logs, $250. Mixed hardwood logs, $250. Aspen pulp, $18. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7. Total bid, $110,850.
Correct.
Good start.
Next one is from J&J Logging Enterprises. Basswood logs, $120. Hard maple logs, $250. Mixed hardwood logs, $250. Aspen pulp, $16.08. Basswood pulp, $14.08. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7. Total bid, $112,214.
Correct.
This is the last one. Last one is from Susan Logging.
Susan?
Yep.
Okay.
Basswood logs, 110. Hard maple logs, 330. Mixed hardwood logs, 165. Aspen pulp, $16.10. Basswood pulp, $7.20. Mixed hardwood pulp, $10.15. Total bid, $112,040.
Correct.
Next sale. 12-23.
Yep. First bid is from JW Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, $250. Aspen pulp, $19. Basswood pulp, $3. Black cherry pulp, $9. Mixed hardwood pulp, $9. Oak pulp, $9. Total bid, $142,745.
correct.
Next one is from Susan Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, $150. Aspen pulp, $15.95. Basswood pulp, $6.15. Black cherry pulp, $9.90. Mixed hardwood pulp, $9.90. Oak pulp, $3.30. Total bid, $120,974.
correct.
That's it.
12.
Excel 13-23.
First one's from JW Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, $250. Aspen pulp, $25. Basswood pulp, $3. Black cherry pulp, $11. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11. Oak pulp, $11. Total bid, $143,760.
correct.
Next one's from Fusion Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, $115. Aspen pulp, $15.75. Basswood pulp, $5.10. Black cherry pulp, $9.60. Mixed hardwood pulp, $9.60. Oak pulp, $2.75. Total bid, $93,702.50.
correct.
One bid for 14-20. S&S Forestry Plus.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Hard maple logs, 240. Mixed hardwood logs, 240. Red oak logs, 240. Basswood pulp, $7.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7.50. Oak pulp, $7.50. Total bid, $61,825.
correct.
Excel 15-23.
Lionel Klein.
Okay,
Hard maple logs, 200. Mixed hardwood logs, 200. Aspen pulp, $3. Basswood pulp, 5 cents. Mixed hardwood pulp, 5 cents. Total bid, $8,775.75.
correct.
Eight, what was the total?
87.75 and 75 cents.
Next sale is 17.
Go on, 17.
1723, yes.
JW Logging.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Mixed hardwood logs, 275. Red oak logs, 400. White oak logs, 400. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11. Red oak pulp, $11. Total bid, $67,905.
correct.
T&R-W Logging.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Mixed hardwood logs, 200. Red oak logs, 350. White oak logs, 350. Basswood pulp, $5.20. Mixed hardwood pulp, $4.16. Red oak pulp, $8. Total bid, $53,299.60.
correct.
Last one. Susan Logging.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 120. Mixed hardwood logs, 210. Red oak logs, 342. White oak logs, 342. Basswood pulp, $5.20. Mixed hardwood pulp, $8.50. Red oak pulp, $6.60. Total bid, $54,416.
correct.
That's all for 17. Tract 18, 23.
JW Logging.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Hard maple logs, 400. Mixed hardwood logs, 300. Red oak logs, 400. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11. Red oak pulp, $11. Total bid, $56,640.
correct.
Weaver Forest Products.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 175. Hard maple logs, 285. Mixed hardwood logs, 240. Red oak logs, 299. Basswood pulp, $5.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $3.50. Red oak pulp, $3.50. Total bid, $41,037.
Correct.
That's it.
Right, 1923. Park mark. Like,
JW Logging. Basswood logs, 100. Hard maple logs, 425. Mixed hardwood logs, 325. Red oak logs, 425. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11. Oak pulp, $11. Total bid, $100,280.
Correct.
that's the only one.
Just one big.
Track 20, you got one bid as well.
JW Logging.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Hard maple logs, 415. Mixed hardwood logs, 325. Red oak logs, 415. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11. Oak pulp, $11. Total bid, $115,405.
correct.
No bids for 21-23.
Track 22. 23.
JW Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, 300. Red oak logs, 425. Aspen pulp, $11. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11. Oak pulp, $11. Total bid, $65,415.
correct.
TNRW Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, 200. Red oak logs, 370. Aspen pulp, $6.66. Basswood pulp, $7.81. Mixed hardwood pulp, $4.16. Oak pulp, $8. Total bid, $51,445.75.
correct.
Last one is from Susan Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, 170. Red oak logs, 338. Aspen pulp, $12.50. Basswood pulp, $6.10. Mixed hardwood pulp, $8.45. Oak pulp, $6.50. Total bid, $48,088.50.
Correct.
That's it for that.
50 cents.
$23.23. S&S Forestry Plus.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, 275. Red oak logs, 385. Aspen pulp, $9. Basswood pulp, $9. Mixed hardwood pulp, $9. Oak pulp, $9. Total bid, $42,185.
correct.
Weaver Forest Products.
Okay,
Mixed hardwood logs, $240. Red oak logs, $295. Aspen pulp, $16. Basswood pulp, $4.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $6.50. Oak pulp, $5.50. Total bid, $31,567.50.
correct.
That's it.
Okay, 24, 23.
Lionel Klein. Got it right between the numbers, so you didn't hear it. Got it.
Okay,
Basswood logs, $100. Mixed hardwood logs, $100. Red oak logs, $200. Basswood pulp, $4.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $10. Oak pulp, $10. Total bid, $18,625.
correct.
Weaver Forest Products.
Okay,
Basswood logs, $165. Mixed hardwood logs, $240. Red oak logs, $295. Basswood pulp, $3.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $4. Oak pulp, $4. Total bid, $19,725.
correct.
That's it.
Final sale. 25, 23.
S&S Forestry Plus.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Hard maple logs, 175. Mixed hardwood logs, 175. Red oak logs, 175. Aspen pulp, $6.75. Basswood pulp, $6.75. Mixed hardwood pulp, $6.75. Oak pulp, $6.75. Total bid, $103,846.25.
Correct.
Flannel Fleet Logging.
Okay,
Basswood Logs, 100. Hard Maple Logs, 250. Mixed Hardwood Logs, 137. Red Oak Logs, 200. Aspen Pulp, $8. Basswood Pulp, $2. Mixed Hardwood Pulp, $7.23. Oak Pulp, $5. Total bid, $98,067.
I have $98,056.
Last,
Eventually.
I don't like
We're doing so well.
the last.
Can't go without one.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Eddie. $11 difference. Huh? What?
I'm here for you.
I said
What's the
what?
total, Heidi?
$98,056.
Yep.
It's hard to get out of your mouth, right?
Rough one, I'll get over this.
That's it.
Bill, I'll make the motion to accept high bidder as a.
Success. Is there a second?
Yes.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, carried. And I guess we'll go back to Public Trails Committee report.
All we have is,
Were we done with the administrator's report?
What?
Were we done with the administrator's report?
Oh,
Cause Jared was in the middle of talking here.
Good question, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we were talking about the form. If that was the same one used on timber sales.
It's not the same one.
So maybe what we should do there is, my recommendation would be, we bring the form to the committee along with our logging bid, form, and come up with something and vote on it at one for them. First, I would go to the ad hoc committee and ask for their recommendations on what the form would look like. And then bring it here, and we could vote on what the form would look like.
good.
That's what I was saying here.
Just start talking, Jay.
well, I've done that before on Port Down there, so I thought he was done. We were not able to have a meeting due to hunting trips scheduled. We have a huge agenda this next time, and we didn't wanna have it short-staffed even with just four. We wanted to get as many guys there so we could have the, we have a lot to take in on this next meeting. So I did look at one trail, and that, so we don't have anything to do on that, but I did look at one trail. It wouldn't have met the threshold of opening it. The guy who asked me to look at it was fully understanding in that. And so at this point, we've been busy, I don't think anyone's looked at any other trails. Had one person up in, Blue Hills call me about several. He downloaded the map, he was gonna try to go up there and see which ones all his hunting buddies used and see if we needed to inspect some, or if they could deal with the way it was set up off Weirdgore Road, so. He seemed to think the map was, very usable, you know what I mean, when he downloaded, I don't know if he's gonna think he's got the access he wanted, but he thought the map was pretty helpful, so. Whoever set that up, seems like it worked out good. And that's all I've got, cause we just could not get the meeting room on the days most people were open, and we did not have a meeting, but the 27th, Rob? 27th, it should be a long one.
I just got one thing. You're on finance, right?
Yeah.
What's the change going for this group that's coming, it's an addendum on the,
So remember were you here last month?
Huh?
Were you here last month?
yeah,
Okay, but in the minutes last month,
okay.
we had voted on reimbursing mileage because they're driving
Okay.
all over the.
I just saw that on there, so
Yeah, it does, that's
I didn't cross-check it.
okay, yep, that's it.
Bill recommendations. Non-timber sale contract renewal, review.
So in your packet, you find the municipal contract with some red changes. Were mostly the suggestion of Rich.
I knew I just had it. There it is.
Stays very much the same. Some minor word changes. Biggest change being number 18. All it does is guarantee that the special conditions listed on the map become part of the contract. Which has always been the case, understood.
But not spelled out.
I questioned that with Rich and he said we should spell it out a little better, so.
The lawyers.
And then we sent over, we sent out the bid prospectus, consistent with these changes. That's really the only change, the rest is mostly wording.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. I guess. Access permit. Jared asked if I'd let the petitioner speak briefly.
Yeah, so Brandon Roach stopped in the office, requesting an access permit south of County B to get to his property. As you know, he was under investigation, or is, or whatever, the sheriff's department. As of right now, I believe there's been no citations issued or anything yet, but they're still working on it. With that, when I talked to him, he was hoping that you guys would approve an access permit. Shown on the map there, the black non-existing road, the red would have to be newly constructed, which includes a stream crossing, which he'll have to get a permit for. You can see the current closure point, that's a rough arrow there, it's somewhere around that point where I think the trail committee inspected that and they actually bumped it down a little further a couple months ago to that point. Just for reference, so if he builds it, if he improves that road to get to his property, it should be in shape well enough to open to everyone to get right to his property, at which point he can post it at his line, but he can't keep anyone off the county forest road. It's up to you guys if you wanna move forward with providing him an access permit.
I would so move as long as all permits and everything are received by the individual requesting the access.
We're talking just the red line part, the yellow line part is
Yeah,
not.
he'll take the black. He'll have to do some improvements here. closure point after that, there's some issues we'll have to address in order to be able to use it.
I'll second it.
Yeah, this will be new here. Stream crossing, either a rock ford or a culvert.
And, will you be able to work with them on the stream crossing, just to make sure that,
Yeah, so I believe with the, I'll have to look into it some more, but I think on chapter 30 stream crossing permit, there is something that the landowner has to sign off on. I suppose that would be the representative for that. But he's responsible for preparing all that and doing all the work, installation, everything, but of course I'll probably go out there and make sure it looks good, or Dan will, or Mike, or whoever.
yeah, cause if you work with him on that, then we might have to add that one, like you said, to the roads that have access to it.
Potentially it could be open further, yeah.
Anything else then?
Not for me, unless you wanted him to say anything.
Oh, if you want to.
Yeah, so, to go across that creek and whatnot, I'm trying to get access for Jefferson, obviously. And my plan, I talked to Jay about, he's already talked to Jeff Van Dorn, who redid the beginning part of that road, and you can drive your pickup down the first 80. You know, but it's a nice road that he put in there. I don't know if I could put a bridge across that creek for the time being, or, mat it, or, I mean, I just called Jeff to finish that, to make it easier getting in there for hunting, or potentially allow access around for hunting season, and, you know, I'll spend my dime to fix these trails up, and I'm not opposed to that. I understand they'll be open all the way to me. You know, I'm willing to work with you and get it to your standards. I just wanna, you know, get back in my property. So, I don't know if there's anything that can be done in the meantime to get across that creek. Is there temporary or matting or bridge or?
As far as I know, you're not gonna be able to put a temporary bridge without a permit.
Okay.
Still have to go through a permit process, chapter 30,
Right.
to get a temporary bridge permit.
I can talk to him about that. Yeah, is there possible access around for the time being and agree to fixed trail? I don't know. See, when I bought this property, and this is on me, it comes back on me, I was told by the county that I could get a county access permit. There's no wording about trails being closed or anything like that. And then I had a meeting with Dane that I missed. That was on me. Me and Dane were supposed to get it in writing and figured out. And all of a sudden, I think it's Jay or somebody, I was under investigation for brushing a trail, and then I never heard anything back, and it was pretty soon later, 8 months later, and all of a sudden all the trails are closed. You know, it was news to me. This all happened the last few weeks, in the last month, so. But it should have been taken care of. The original time I was supposed to meet with him, we never got back together, just something come up and I missed it or forgot the meeting. But I was under the impression originally, and was told, and the realtor was told that you could have an access permit to get in there. There was no problems, no questions asked. Yep, we'll fill that out for you.
And really, that yellow line there, that trail's been there for 30 years. I've hunted back in there for 30 years. He bought the property, the trails were not shut down. Now they're shut down, and he has his property. If he could get in there this year, next year, everything with permits and coming across will be done. If we could get access for this year. And then have all
Like they're asking to use,
that,
not the highlighted.
the highlighted yellow.
To the east, use that highlighted yellow road.
Right up on the top where, oops, sorry. So, I mean, since I was a kid, we always come this way, which sucks. I'd rather go this way across this creek. It's an old road bed, you know, that goes through here, but it's not opened up. Over here, and this is the trail that we've been coming in, and it hasn't gotten worse in 30 years. It's never been a freaking a peach of a trail, we'll say, but it's always stayed the same. It's wet, you know it's wet, and it's wet. People don't go back in there. You come back in there, you get left alone, and, yeah. But that's the way
The
around.
only way to get into there would be to come across that yellow. Because we can't go across Stewart's land where that county trail goes and cuts the corner, because they have it posted on that 40 that's white there in the center. So we cannot come across there, because that's private. So the only way to come down is to come across that yellow to come in.
So I guess if you guys wanted to entertain this, I think we would probably end up doing a temporary permit for 1 or 2 years with a different route highlighted. And we could still do this long-term one with this road, I guess.
What kind of, that yellow route that's depicted, what kind of shape is it in?
That's a good shape.
It is.
That's actually the best shape.
It actually looks like, kinda looks like an old skid trail to me.
Yeah. That's the best shape of
There's a couple of
all
little
the
bit of red
trails
spots,
on there.
but it's not bad there are some issues before you get to that point.
You plan on next year fixing up this other portion?
Right, if we could have 1 year,
So if we were gonna temporary, I would say.
come down that one trail and come in this year. And next year, have that taken care of across the creek the right way. And I think you guys just walked that 40 where the red is about
Not very long.
6 years ago.
Yeah, about 6, 8 years, it's thick.
You know, so it's a lot of,
I know you have, down by where that yellow is, I know you have some forest crop in there that is about, it's in your 28 of 30. Some good hardwood down there, and you've been denied access across the field to that forest crop. So, I mean, that trail's help. And I'll make the call when we leave here today, and I'll hire, what's his name, for the trail, to repair that to those standards, and, you know. So, he's got the equipment. I'd assume when you get.
The crossing there up just above what says existing road, dotted line crosses the stream, is that a good crossing, or?
That is actually, yeah, that's kind of makeshift rock road there,
It's been
where
used
it
as a,
crosses the stream up there.
it's been used as a frozen crossing for timber harvesting.
that's that little gravel.
I guess technically you'd need a permit to cross there as well, if it's not frozen.
That's what I was thinking.
That crossing looks like it had been worked on by loggers or something before. It's not, I mean, it's a tiny little stream, and it's all rock through there. And then they got a few drainage breaks in the trail right there, so the water doesn't run down the creek. It's definitely been worked on at some point.
There's some old water bars in there.
Yeah, that's what.
Committee's choice.
I'm gonna so move to grant them access, temporary access. Any damage that would have occurred to them trails under temporary access, they must reserve.
How long will it take?
I'm saying temporary, they can get in there this year.
Until the end of 2024?
No, the end of 2023.
Sorry, 23. So until December 31st, 2023.
Yeah.
I think you guys are more worried about getting your stands out there than getting them back out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Got it then, Heidi?
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Murphy Pavilion usage. call me on the one for November of 23. We've been working on our trails forever. They just want us to help a bunch of people. They spend the time there. We've been doing it forever. It's just a neat place to camp. Yeah, it's been going on since they worked on trails. So. Second? All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. Johnson County Forest Association Snowmobile Council letter. I just talked to Jared about this one. Might want to have some feed into it, but some counties are getting really upset because their priority list got thrown way out of whack this year. For a bridge across Wisconsin River, if I remember right, Sauk County somewhere.
Yeah. Mike, maybe I'll. Mike, you wanna talk about it or should I?
So, did you guys read the letter at all? The letter written by, Rebecca kinda sums it up pretty well. There's been kind of an ongoing issue with the county forest administrators, not necessarily me, I've been doing this very long, as you know, in this capacity. But this Snowmobile Council's been acting weird for a long time, and she put in the letter, just like to have these pet projects that the state laws have a set order of priorities. Lost for words here. Set order of priorities and what they're supposed to fund. And the council goes ahead and takes their, what Rebecca calls their pet projects that should be a lower priority, should not even get to them with money, and move them ahead of other projects that should be funded before them. Stuff like that. Apparently some other comments that they make. Kind of a long history of issues that I guess the Wisconsin County Forest Association is pretty well fed up with it, and they sent this pretty aggressive letter. And Phil was thinking that Rusk County should individually go ahead and send a
representative.
Well, to a representative.
So I get some of the frustration with like the priorities and all that stuff. There is some language in here. DNR pulled together an advisory committee, about the formal council with the DNR legal services, empower DNR staff liaison leadership to enforce state of Wisconsin statutes and correct councils if and when necessary. When it comes to the trails we've had around here, a lot of the, at least what I've been told is, the issues we have is the DNR, rules are putting on stuff. So if we're saying that, you know, this would be fourth page. Number 2.
Okay.
So I wouldn't feel comfortable, saying that, you know, we agree with the DNR that, some of the strict laws they put on us, and that, you know, everybody should necessarily answer to them. So, I mean, it's at least, from my understanding of the issues we've had, why some things are more stringent on some things have been all caused by the DNR and their, thinking that they should have more control over some of this stuff. So I would not recommend this letter. I understand a lot of what you're saying, you know, about the priority listing and stuff, but a lot of this language I can't agree with, because then I'd be validating, you know, that the DNR is always right in these cases.
Yeah, so the laws aren't made by the DNR, they're made by legislature, the DNR is tasked with enforcing them. And that's what CFA is asking that.
Right, so we've been told that the reason we want to get carbon credits is the DNR enforcing some of these stuff, so I'd rather not, I would rather not put my name behind that. It's all his fault.
was the August meeting,
How big a bridge
the
was
funding meeting, the main funding meeting that we.
how big a bridge was it that you approved?
Oh, it was massive. It was like $1 million bridge.
Come on, feet, millions, and, it's a multi-year, I think they put, didn't they agree to 500,000 this year, and they're gonna do $500,000 next year again on it?
ATV snowmobile bridge?
Just snowmobile.
Snowmobile.
Only snowmobile.
It's over the Wisconsin River,
I believe so.
by Dane County or something,
It's in Sauk County.
Sauk.
Sock.
It says that.
Yeah, and then I was told that they didn't get even the correct number of bids that you need for the application.
My thought though is, what if we miss some little detail and a bunch of other counties get together and say, we say the DNR needs to enforce their way into Rusk County. You know what I'm going with that, you see what I'm saying? As far as the main content, I see that you disagree, and I would say I probably disagree with a lot of the decisions, but as far as is some of this, enforcing and empowering, nobody's perfect, and I don't want somebody writing a letter to us.
Council that approved it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So is that the trail pass money or the registration money?
both of them.
It's both.
For that.
it's not taxpayer, it's
Right.
Fair Pass registration. See, they have a list of their priorities on the ranking of the project types.
Right.
You know, like trail rehab is ranked higher than like new trail or new bridge rehab is ranked higher. Well, during that meeting, they were mixing all that up, they weren't following the priorities. So then like one of our projects, didn't get funded, cause they ran out of money.
There were lots of bridge rehab projects that
They should have
they
been.
blew off to build this brand new bridge.
Yeah.
Right, because, yeah, the bridge rehabs, you fix what you got before you build new.
Correct. You should.
You should.
They were-
And those are
they were-
ranked higher than
Right.
the new bridges, and yeah, they denied some of those so they could build this $1 million new bridge.
And the ranking
It
is,
seemed pretty shady.
the ranking is in state statute.
Somebody's buddy.
Well, am I missing the fact that this is already under regulation by statute?
No, you're spot on, and that's why this was brought to everyone's attention, because.
Who is
of how
the
they mixed
standard
it up.
enforcement agency that would be enforcing it as it stands now?
Suppose the DNR. I would say this letter should be.
Well, what are you,
Things going on, and that's what.
Right, I would agree with that.
Or other counties doing this too?
Good question, I guess I don't know.
Do you
I
know,
would
Phil,
think so.
What?
are other counties providing letters like this?
They were talking about it, I haven't seen any. This whole thing about sharing letters or sending just went away, so. I would imagine some of them are, I would think. Jerry could probably find that out.
I could.
Send this to the governor.
Well, what Phil suggested is we send it went to the governor and
Go on, DNR secretary.
the DNR secretary. What Phil suggested and then what I did was I just crafted a letter to our representatives, asking them to help out. And basically, if you read.
Well, I did read that paper.
Kinda just introduce it and then tell them to look at this one.
I guess all that you're mainly asking then, and Derek, close your ears, consider who you're.
You're fine.
But you're asking the DNR to step up and do the job that they're supposed to be doing now.
Yes.
Yeah, take a close look at it, 'cause the council is an advisory council. So they make it, basically, it's recommendations, they're approving these projects, and the DNR has to, they review it.
Officially, the
and then they
DNR's
approve it.
gotta approve it.
Right, in the end, the DNR approves it, so the council makes the recommendation.
Yeah, the DNR should have never approved it.
Yeah.
I guess, Phil, I see your point, but I think they've got a point that,
People are watching, you better.
well,
stay in the room.
I'm gonna go one step farther. There's several other places that I deal with the DNR, that things are getting way out of check. And I think somebody needs to step on some toes, and they need to do their job and look at things through a clearer lens than what they are looking through now. So I guess that being said, I'm not opposed to this letter.
I say we reprimand Derek and then. Cause he's way over there doing that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, and
I'm all for accountability.
the problem is way above Derek's head, believe me.
Yeah, I know nothing about this stuff, so
I get to see him.
I have actually testified in front of the DNR, state DNR board 3 or 4 times now, and what I testified on at the point in time, I'm gonna be honest with you, I might as well talk to that empty soda bottle. They did not even have a clue what was going on and what it was costing people, so I think there needs to be some accountability there, there needs to be some toe stuff done.
I'll second Terry's motion.
That would fund a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
You start pointing out other people's stuff, I'm just saying, you go down that path, and somebody else points out your stuff.
Because I think the formation of that council has to be looked at too, from some of the things people are saying, I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, it sounds to me like if they're just approving stuff and they're only supposed to be advisory, maybe they need their hands slapped a little bit too.
Exactly. Pretty shady.
So,
Any more discussion on that? Not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
We'll skip the closed session until we get rid of the rest of the stuff. Okay, County travel.